Identification de Café Bellhub. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, born in October 27 in 1945 at Campinas, Brazil, is a Brazilian politician who served as president of Brazil at 2003 to 2011 and 2023 until now. Also known as Lula da Silva or simply Lula, is a Brazilian politician who is the 39th and current president of Brazil since 2023, a member of the Workers' Party. Lula was also the 35th president from 2003 to 2011. He has also held the presidency of the G20 since 2023. Lula quit school after second grade to work and did not learn to read until he was 10 years old. As a teenager, he worked at metal work and became a trade unionist. Between 1978 to 1980, he led workers' strikes during Brazil's military dictatorship, and in 1980 he helped start the Workers' Party during Brazil politician opening. Lula was one of the leaders of the 1984 Directors' Movement, which demanded direct election. In 1986, he was elected a federal deputy in the state of Sao Paulo. He ran for president in 1989, but lost in the second round. He went on to lose two other presidential elections, both in 1994 and then in 1998. He finally became president in 2002 in runoff. In 2006, he was successfully elected in the second round. Described as left-wing, his first presidency coincided with South America's first pink tide and was marked out by consolidation of the social welfare programs such as Bolsa Familia and Fomzilo. During his first two consecutive terms in office, he undertook reforms which eventually to lead growth in GDP, reduction in public debt and inflation, and helping 20 million Brazilians escape poverty. He also played role foreign policy, both at a region level as a part of global trade and environmental negotiations. During those times, Lula was considered one of the most popular politicians in Brazil history and left office with 80% approval rating. His first term was marked by notable scandals, including the Mensalão vote buying scandal. After the 2010 Brazil general election, he was succeeded by his former chief of staff, Remy, and remained active in politics and gave lectures. In July 2017, Lula was convicted on charges of money laundering and corruption trial, after which he spent a total of 508 days in prison. He attempted to run in the 2018 Brazilian presidential election, but was disqualified under Brazil official Limpa law. He was released the following year in 2019, and his conviction was nullified in 2021 by the Supreme Court. The same ruling, which also found serious biases in the case against him and annulled all other pending cases against him, now legally allowed to make another run for president. He did so in the 2022 election and ultimately defeated the incumbent Jair Bolsonaro in runoff, sworn in on 1st January 2023 at the age of 77. He is the oldest Brazilian president at the time of inauguration as well as the first ever candidate to have defeated an incumbent president and to be elected to a third term. What is the personal life of Inácio Lula da Silva? Twice a widower, Lula has been married 3 times and has a daughter from 4th relationship. In 1969, he married the Lourdes Rubio. She died of hepatitis in 1971, while pregnant his child, who was also died. In March 1974, Lula had illegitimate daughter, Lilian, with his 10th girlfriend, Marian Calderio. The two never married. Lula only began participating in her daughter's life when she was already a young adult. 2 months later, in May 1974, Lula married Marisa Leticia Loco Casa, a 24-year-old widow whom he had met the prior year. He had 3 sons with her and adopted her son from her first marriage. The two remained married for 3 years until her death on 2nd February 2017 after a stroke. Still in 2017, he met and started a relationship with Rosângela da Silva, known as Janja. The relationship only became public in 2019, while he was serving time in jail in Curitiba, Paraná on corruption charges. Lula and Janja married on 18 May 2022. Lula is Catholic. What is the educational path of the president? Lula had read the formal education. He did not learn to read until he was 10 years old. He quit school after the 2nd grade to work. His first job at the age 8 was a street vendor. When he was 12, he also worked as shoe shiner. In 1960, when he was 14, he got his first formal job in warehouse. In 1961, he started working as an apprentice of press operator in metallurgical company that produced screw while studying in vocational courses. Therefore, Lula had his first contract with the strike movement. After the movement failed in its negotiation, Lula left the company for another metallic company. From 1966 to 1980, he worked at various Metal SA, a new metalworking firm. There in 1974, he lost his left pink finger in an emotional accident while working as press operator in a factory. After the accident, he had to run to several hospitals before receiving medical attention. This experience increased his interest in participating in the workers' union. Along the time, he became involved in the union activities and held several union posts. What is the political career as a president? He was inspired by his brother, Frei Chicho, a member of Brazilian Communist Party. Lula joined the rebel movement when he worked at various metal. Rising through the ranks, he was elected in 1975 and re-elected in 1978 as the president of Street Workers Union of São Bernardo do Campo and Diadema. Both cities are located in ABCD region, home to most of Brazilian automobile manufacturing factories, including Ford, Volkswagen, Toyota, and Mercedes-Benz. In the late 1970s, while Brazil was under military rule, Lula helped organize union activities, including major strikes. Labor courts found the strike illegal, and in 1980, Lula was jailed for a month. Due to this, unlike other people employed for political activities under the military government, Lula was awarded a lifetime pension after the fall of military regime. Born in Pernambuco State to sharecropping parents, Luis Inacio de Silva worked shoeshine boy, street vendor, and factory worker to help supplement the family income. During the recession that followed the military coup in 1964 in Brazil, he found employment with various metal works in São Bernardo do Campo, an industrial suburb of São Paulo. A founding member of work parties, Lula first ran for political office as his party candidate for governor of the state of São Paulo in 1982, finishing fourth. He led national effort in favor of the election for president, organizing mass demonstrations in state capitals in 1983 and 1984. Buoyed by popularity and charisma, Lula was elected to the National Chamber of Deputies in 1986 as federal deputy from São Paulo. Lula was the Workers' Party presidential candidate in 1989, but he lost to Fernando Collor de Mello. Lula contended as his first presidential candidate in election of 1994 and 1998, both times finishing second to Fernando Henrique Cardoso. In the 2002 presidential election, he adopted a more pragmatic platform. Although he remained committed to encouraging a grassroots participation in political process, he also courted business leaders and promised to work with International Monetary Fund to meet fiscal targets. Lula decisively defeated José Serra, the government-backed candidate, by winning 61% of the vote. After taking office in January 2003, Lula sought to improve economy, social reform, and government corruption. In 2006, as the end of his term approached, the economy was growing. The Brazil poverty rate had fallen significantly. However, many Brazilians felt that Lula had not done enough to improve the quality of public education or to reduce crime. Moreover, Lula's vow to fight government corruption had come into question in 2005, when members of his party were accused of bribery and illegal campaign financing. The president was implicated, but scandal hurt his popularity in first round of 2006 presidential election. Lula failed, capturing enough votes to win outright. Nevertheless, in the second round, he easily defeated his opponent, Geraldo Alckmin of Brazilian Social Democratic Party. Both Brazilian economy and Lula popularity continued to grow during his second term, and new oil discoveries in Santos Basin had great promises for the country's future, which looked even brighter when Rio de Janeiro was chosen to host 2016 Summer Olympic Games. He barred from running a third consecutive term. Lula handpicked his chief of staff, Remy, as his successor, promising to extend Lula's policies. Rousseff had been the point person for the administration landmark growth acceleration program. Advanced from his first round of election to a runoff against Serra, whom she defeated convincingly to be elected Brazil's first woman president. Involvement in Petrol scandal. The country's huge majority state-owned oil company and the Workers' Party, dozens of high-level business people and politicians were indicated as part of widespread investigation into the scandal. In August 2015, the list of those arrested expanded to include just the who had served as a chief of staff for Lula from 23 to 25. To call it today with Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, let's talk on what he did better and what he did wrong. We have six segments where we talk good and bad shows of an individual. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, often referred to simply as Lula, has faced criticism during his time as president of Brazil. The first one, corruption scandals. The most significant criticism against Lula is his alleged involvement in the corruption scandal, the Mensalão scandal during his first term, and the Operation Car Wash, which was Lava Jato investigation, implicated many politicians and business leaders, including allegations against Lula. Although his convictions were later annulled, this scandal severely impacted his reputation. Economic challenges. While Lula oversaw significant economic growth during his first terms, his later policies have been criticized for leading to economic instability. Critics argue that some of the government spending policies contributed to the economic recessions that Brazil faced after his presidency. Social programs. While programs like Bolsa Familia were praised to reduce poverty, some critics argue that these initiatives were unsustainable and contributed to dependence culture. Environmental policies. Lula's environmental record has also been criticized, particularly his administration approach to Amazon rainforest. Although the deforestation rate initially declined during his presidency, critics argued that his government did not do enough to enforce environmental protections and curb illegal logging and mining. Polarization. Rural leadership style and political rhetoric have been divisive. Some accuse him of deepening political polarization in Brazil, particularly between his Workers' Party supporters and the oppositions. The last one, the relationship with authoritarian leaders. Lula has been criticized for his friendly relationship with authoritarian leaders such as those in Venezuela and Cuba. Critics argue that these relationships undermined Brazilian commitment to democracy and human rights. But this point summarizes some key of criticism that have been directed to Lula during the time in the office. However, it's worth noting that Lula remaining highly popular and influential figure in Brazil, with many of his policy also being praised for the positive impact on the country. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, despite facing criticism, also received praise for various aspects of his leadership and policies during his term as President of Brazil. Here are some 6 areas where Lula's actions have been positively recognized. The first one, poverty reduction and social programs. Burisma Familia. Lula's administration launched Burisma Familia, a conditional cash transfer program that became one of the largest poverty alleviation initiatives in the world. This program lifted millions of Brazilians out of poverty by providing financial assistance to low-income families on the condition that they send their children to school and ensure that they are vaccinated. Also, Fome Zero hunger. Lula also introduced the Fome Zero program aimed to eradicating hunger and reducing extreme poverty in Brazil. This initiative contributed to significant reduction in poverty and hunger during his presidency. The second one, economic growth and stability. Economic expansions. Under Lula leadership, Brazil experienced significant economic growth, especially during his first 2 terms. The first country GDP grew substantially, and Brazil became the world's 6th largest economy. His administration managed to stabilize inflation and maintain low unemployment rates, which contributed to overall economic stability. Social mobility. Economic growth under the Lula presidency led to emergence of new middle class. Millions of Brazilians experienced upward social mobility, improving their living standards and increasing consumer demand, which further boosted the economy. The third one, international recognitions and diplomacy. Global influence. Lula worked to enhance Brazil's standing on the global stage. He played a key role in founding BRICS Group. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, advocating for the interest of developing nations and pushing the reforms in global institutions like as the United Nations, International Monetary Fund, IMF. Diplomatic engagement. Lula administration emphasized South corruption and strengthened ties with other Latin American countries, Africa, and Asia. His democratic efforts were aimed to fostering Brazil's independence from traditional powers like the United States and Europe. The third one, social inclusion and racial equality. Affirmative action. Rural government implemented affirmative action policies in education and employment to address historical racial inequalities in Brazil. These included introduction of quotas for Afro-Brazilians and indigenous people in public universities, which helped increase their representation in higher education. Support for marginalized communities. Rural administrations focused on policies aimed to improve the lives of marginalized communities, including rural workers, indigenous groups, and the urban poor. These include investments in housing, healthcare, and education. Environmental initiatives. Amazon protection. Although his record is mixed, Lula first time saw effort to reduce deforestation in the Amazon. His administration created protected areas, strengthened environment agencies, and promoted sustainable development projections. This effort led to temporary reduction in deforestation rates during his presidency. Renewable energy. Lula's government promoted renewable energy, particularly internal production from sugarcane, positioning Brazil as a leader in biofuels. This included Brazil energy security and reduced its reliance on fossil fuel. Labor rights and mining wage. Mining wage increase. Rural's administration consistently increased the minimum wage, which improved the purchasing power of Brazilian workers and helped to reduce income inequality. Labor rights. Lula, coming from labor union background, was a strong advocate for workers' rights. His government enacted policies that improved working conditions, expanding labor protections, and strengthening trade union. This achievement helped to solidify Lula's legacy and transformative leader in Brazil, even as he remains a polarizing figure. His policies, especially in social favor and economic growth, had lasting impact on the country.